All right, so now with my creature design, I've just added a neck onto the head, and now I need to fine tune that neck with dodging and burning to make sure it matches. To see the edges a little bit better, I added just a white fill rectangle on top of my sketch. And I can always turn that off to get back to my sketch, but it will help me fine tune the edges around this neck and some of the color choices. And I've combined some of the layers together. So that head on top is all one layer now, which allows me to dodge and burn it as one unit. The neck is still in two components because I think I might want to erase away certain things from certain sides. It's tricky. And then I have a full color version of the bird here in the background. And I think I'm going to start by erasing away from this white to get some of that dark color back. The key to transitioning with these animal forms is to really work from both sides as much as you can, to give yourself lots of overlap and to make adjustments not just to one reference but to both of them at the same time. And not just adjusting one thing, but adjusting, the color, the lighting, all trying to bring them to the middle. Learning compromise. And the reason I do it section by section like this is because it can become very easy to lose your place with all these layers if you try to tackle the whole thing at once. Okay, this is our first new tool that we're going to use. And it's what's called the clone stamp tool. And now on top of everything, a brand new layer, I am going to use this new tool called clone stamp. And I'm going to sample from all layers underneath. To start, I'm going to keep its opacity pretty low, maybe about 40%. I'm going to use the same kind of soft brush, a little bit larger than a pencil eraser that I've been using. And when I hold down Option, what this will do is steal texture and color from other places and paint it where I click in that low opacity. Like so. And this is all on top, so I'm not erasing or replacing anything. I am actually creating new content on top. And the reason I'm using the pressure sensitive, it's easy to make mistakes. The pressure sensitive brush is sometimes I want to go quite small and detailed. And the reason I'm copying and pasting at a lower opacity is so that I'm always creating something new by layering these soft feathers on top of each other. So I'm being very wary of hard edges, trying to soften those hard edges as it comes around. If I go to an even lower opacity, I can help start transitioning some of these colors. So I want there to be a rainbow of colors, but I also want it to feel naturalistic and not overly forced. So the clone stamp is your secret weapon when you're transitioning from one texture to another. And when you want to bring different coloration in. So I can even take the color from the beak and just 10% very subtly introduce that into the plumage of the feathers. make it the shadow color underneath the neck here. So again, it's like taxidermy. You're taking from real animals, real textures, but you're making them fit your own unique vision. Like creative taxidermy. Your own skeleton, your own colors and texture decisions. Now the key to clone stamp is never do it on the same layer that you're stealing your, at least at this stage, that you're stealing your reference from. I do it on a blank layer on top so that because we tend to overdo things, and then I can always blend it in with opacity and work with it that way. Bless you. Okay, now I gotta clean up this outside edge. Find what layer that's on. Huh. What layer is that on? And to do that, I'm actually gonna combine. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to combine all these head layers underneath my clone stamp layer by selecting them and hitting Command D. I'm going to label my clone stamp layer because I'm going to come back to it often as its own thing. So that's all I did with clone stamp, but just those little adjustments with faint textures and colors. Which looks like, you know, smudging with makeup, but it's actually painting from the other textures. It helps transition all of that into something more believable. Okay, now that I've got the bird's head, I can label this the head and neck. And now I need to make this a cleaner cutout. I'm going to do a little bit of it by hand, because there's some creativity required here. Deciding where to make these distinctions, what softness to use. And then I'll worry about this stuff once I have the chest. All right, so now I'm going to work with these wings. Oops. And since they are sized, they're at the resolution they're able to be already. So I can't make them bigger. So I'm just going to put them right in place and try to work with them. Now I'm liking how that spine is working. And it goes right into the head of that eagle. So if I put the eagle on top, you see that its head is actually over here. Its spine is facing us more. But by having the eyes here and by controlling that movement and showing the spine curving back there, and you have the little hump, the wing comes out here. If I make that wing come out, it will all make sense together. So now, first thing I might do to transition it is use a fuller opacity eraser, fairly soft edged, and transition into that eagle's wing a little bit. And I don't want to get rid of any more than I need. So I'll do it like that for the moment. I'm not going to want any of this stuff, at least not right now. You know, actually I like this portion a lot, and I might use this for a tail later on. So what I'll do is I'll make a big selection of it with too much selected, duplicate it on its own, call it a tail, and move it out of the way for use later. Whoops, tail. Because it's a lot more impressive than the eagle's tail. You know, I might be able to use it something like that later. But on this one, now that I've made a copy of it, I can feel pretty free to erase that away. And reveal the full expanse of that wing. All right, so now I just need to select out these wings. Get rid of that background shape and then play with their color and their dodge and burn. And because it's pronounced and out of focus, the magic wand is doing a decent job selecting. It's okay if it doesn't get everything. I just want to make sure it doesn't accidentally select within the wing like it just did. It shows you where camouflage patterns come from. That's why I have my history open too, so I can easily go back to before I lose information that I need. I'm adding to my magic wand selection by holding down Shift. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm losing anything unless I zoom in. Yeah, and I don't want to erase all of that, so I'm going to minus some of that out. Fine-tune that later. And then just like with the flower, I can go in and try to make pretty smooth selections with my lasso when I need to, but still making it a fairly believable texture. Feathers and flowers have a lot in common, lots of little breaks in form. I'll take it one chunk at a time. For your landscape project, a lot of you had palm trees. This is just like